couple things I'm going to talk about today. The body count fallout, which is, it's now, of course, the single moms, which are just exponentially going up. Baby deletion, which surprisingly is a little bit lower up until Roe v. Wade, and then it's gone up incredibly high since then, because I don't know if they're like somehow trying to protest against whatever, who knows. And then lastly, we'll talk about many moms have kids with different dads. U.S. study finds 28% of women with 2 or more offspring have children by more than one man. And it's kind of funny because the headline, one of the other headlines in regards to this story, said 1 in 5. Well, if you know anything about statistics, this is almost 1 in 3. It's more than 1 in 4. It's almost 1 in 3. And it's not just the single, just the single moms. It's actually women divorcing and then going on to remarry, which, kind of proves our point that even if you get married to them, it doesn't mean they're going to stick around. So we're going to talk about all of that today. First, we're going to start with, let me find my right, where's my right button? Here it is. Okay. Actually, before we get too far into this, let me just go ahead and get our sponsored ad read out of the way for the day, and then we can focus on the stories at hand. As you guys know, I talk about this all the time, that feminization and weakening of men to accept single mothers, girl bosses, undesirable feminist women. It's nothing new. Both society and now government want men to have low testosterone, to be weak and controllable, and to be docile. This is why anybody who speaks out against all the isms and phobes and sexism and misogyny, that's why we're shut down, and that's why we have to stay strong, focused, and masculine. Black Forest Turkesterone helps fight back by using Tongkat to help gain that focus and drive that many men are missing today. Instead of telling you about it, though, I'll let Dr. Andrew Huberman explain it like he did to Joe Rogan on his podcast.
There are incredible plant compounds out there. Like there's this thing that's now kind of going wild on the internet. It's called Turkesterone.
Turkesterone?
Yeah, they call it Turk. And this is basically, and I actually I did one episode of my podcast all about hormones, and I went deep into this literature, and Turkesterone, side by side with Deca or another testosterone derivative, it essentially acts the same way. It increases testosterone and performance and recovery.
How much does it increase it by?
Equivalent.
Really?
So,
this plant compound is equivalent to Deca?
Essentially.
Wow. Yeah. Where do you get this stuff?
People buy it on the internet.
How do you spell it?
Apparently you pronounce it Turkesterone. I pronounce it Turkesterone. I'm an idiot, but what else is new? But anyway, they have Turkesterone with Tongkat. It increases testosterone, increases strength, increases lean muscle mass recovery, lowers stress, and helps with fat loss. Black Forest Supplements is a brand dedicated to bringing traditional masculinity and femininity back, fighting hard to bring back what's been lost. So if you want to take control of your health and your life, check out Black Forest Supplements. Don't let anyone tell you that being strong and confident is a bad thing. Discount codes and affiliate links are down below. And now back to me. Listen when women tell you something. Listen. It doesn't mean they have to directly tell you. It doesn't mean they'll look you in the eye and tell you the truth. But it does mean that when they say something and you're good at reading between the lines, you understand what they're saying.
I have this issue where I find almost no men attractive. Like, it's really, really annoying because I speak to a lot of men, right? I'm very social. I love to talk. I find almost no one attractive. So, like, there's just, like, it just doesn't go anywhere, like, ever. I get asked on dates, I'm like, no, pass. And then when I do find someone attractive, I'm like, I'm obsessed with you. I need you. If I don't have you, I'm going to feel unwell.
Okay. Let's read between the lines, shall we? We don't have to do it too much because she's telling us directly. She's got the crazy eyes. So here's the deal, right? What is she talking about? Okay, 95% of men do not meet her needs. 95% of men are below what she's used to, her expectations, because she's a top 5%er. And then what happens when she meets that top 5% guy? She gets obsessive. She goes crazy for him. And everybody else is boring, and I don't want anything to do with them. That's literally what she's saying. I'm just going to rewind it a bit because I do want you to hear the "that's all I can think about" portion of this because it's important.
I need that. I get asked on dates, I'm like, no, pass. And then when I do find someone attractive, I'm like, I'm obsessed with you. I need you. If I don't have you, I'm going to feel unwell. Like, I need them because it's so rare at this point that it, like, makes it extremely difficult. Or, like, even if they are attractive, like, even if, like, yeah, you're a pretty face, I just don't care to speak to them. Like, if I want to speak to someone, I will nonstop be thinking about, like, texting them or having a conversation with them. But it's so fucking rare. Like, it's so rare, and I just want to have a cute little fun crush and, like, whatever, but I can't even have a crush anymore because I'm just like, boring, like, not interested, no desire for it. I need to, like, go to the gym.
Now, here's my question to you. Why doesn't she have an engagement ring? Why doesn't she have a wedding ring? Why doesn't she have a boyfriend right now? It's simple. Because of the body count blowout, or the body count, what do you want to call it? Fallout, blowout, where she's had so many men, these guys she's going for have other choices. She's a hobby to these guys. Well, as you can see on the thumbnail here, whatever podcast said, is it bad for society that so many average-looking women find a majority of average-looking men unattractive? If we lined up every woman on earth and put her next to her male equivalent, 90% of them would be mortified. And then they say, what would you rate her looks out of a scale of 1 to 10? Well, they're correct. This is hypergamy, right? That in the days before the internet, in the days where, everything was kind of even and men made the money and men were the household earners and men were the protectors and men were the fathers. When we had that, women's looks were pretty, and how well a homemaker they were and how sweet they were and how accommodating they were, that was what men looked for. And so you could get an average looking guy, but he's a doctor, or an average look. And that's, it would kind of adjust society. And we've talked about this endlessly, but it's still relevant because today we've given women the protection from government, police. We've given women the jobs because they can go out and get their college degrees at a higher rate than men do, and they can make the money that they need to. And so the only thing they need a man for is their looks and maybe their income. Women will say once they hit 35 and they've got triple-digit body counts, and then they say, well, now I'm ready to settle down. Why don't the men pay attention to me? What do they follow that up with? They say, I'm good looking. Well, yes, but the sand's almost out of the hourglass. I'm successful. Doesn't matter. That matters to women, but not men. I have my own place or my own money or my own 401k. Doesn't matter to men, only matters to women. And then women proceed through this list of things that they find important, and they say to the men, well, you should find that important to me. That's not how this works. She responded to it, and she's very upset.
Please keep talking about me on your stupid ass fucking podcast. Please. I'm actually begging for it. Please. On my hands and fucking knees, because that's what you think women fucking do. So would you want to fucking talk shit about me on Twitter? King ugly ass misogynistic podcast. That's fucking gross. Anyway, all the comments on Twitter say I'm hot, so please.
So anyway, she got very upset that she was being called out for her unreasonable desires, rightfully so. But this is the part that I found the most interesting.
Anyway, all the comments on Twitter say I'm hot, so
there you go. All the comments on Twitter say I'm hot. Are those the same 5%ers she wants to sleep with and go on dates with and maybe eventually have as a boyfriend or a husband? Are they the same men saying, oh, you're hot? No, you're totally right. No, those are guys that are probably threes and they're simps. And those are the guys that are giving her the validation. This is exactly what we've said is happening. Women are sleeping with the top 5% of men, and they've falsely inflated themselves beyond their reach. And then when they feel bad about things and they feel, oh, woe is me, they go to social media and they see a bunch of thirsty three simps validating them. And they're like, well, everybody says I'm hot, so what do you know? This is why social media has screwed up the dating scene. This is why social media has screwed up women, because the two worlds don't collide. It's not the same men. Like in her mind, I guess, she thinks 3,000 dudes just totally validated her, and they're all top I don't know, 20% of men? When in reality, like I am average. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'm average. I've never validated a woman on social media. I've never said, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're, I've never done it. Neither do you guys. And if you do, stop, because it's not going to get you anywhere. You guys don't do it either. So who's responding to her? Loser, thirsty, 3 simps. And that's what's blowing up her ego. That's what's blowing her up beyond her own self-worth. And then she thinks, well, I definitely deserve a top 5% guy. Now, why does she feel this is important to put on the internet? This is a way that a woman inflates her ego. This is a way a woman says, I'm better than you. I'm not going to say I'm better than you, but I'm telling you I'm better than you because all men are beneath me. All men are boring. All men, I don't want all men. Just a very small sliver. And therefore, I'm more choosy than you are. I'm more high class than you are. I require more out of men than you do. I'm better than you. Now, what is the fallout of this? What is the fallout of this? This gal is realizing. Now, again, I know I'll get pushback on this. This girl's cute. She gets asked out. She gets dates. Or does she? Because she's noticing something. The guys that she wants, again, 5%ers, they are making zero effort for her because they don't need to. Because thirsty face over here, Miss Thirsty, that only chases after the top 5%ers, she becomes obsessed with them. It's her own words out of her own mouth. I become obsessed with them. And the other 95% of men, and this is what's key, this is what's changing, the other 95% of men have stopped asking and trying. So these women don't get the validation of men anymore.
I need to know why all you men are acting like little princesses. Like, I actually want to know. When you start talking to a guy and he's like, no, you need to chase me. No, you need to compliment me. No, I will give nothing back to you. I need me a strong, independent woman who works hella hard, but I'm not going to be doing all that.
So what is she saying? Oh, I know. I don't know why she's got the hey, the black lady hand thing going. But she's telling you what's happening. And this is a win. The top 5% of guys are so busy, they're not asking. They're not flirting. They're not doing anything anymore except existing, and these women are chasing them down. And the other 95% are, nah, I'm good, King. I'm good. I don't need to bother. Can anybody guess who I have a story from? Guess what? I have a story from our favorite lady, Yana. I told you things were going to get bad for her as she aged. And now that she's over 40 years old, this just came out 2 days ago, she's burnt out. She has body count burnout. She's got body count fallout. All the damage is now coming home to roost. And this is why I read her, because it's like she puts her diary into a story and then it's published on the New York Post. She said, I've been acting in bed for years and it's ruined my sex life. Now, at the tender age of 40 or whatever she is now, I'm done pretending men are rocking my world. So all these, see, this is what's so beautiful. Eventually, women discover what we've been telling them. Eventually, without admitting we're right, they inadvertently come out and they say, oh, you guys are totally right. What'd she say? If you go back and read all her stories, it's, oh, I met this Mr. Big in New York City and he rocked my world. Oh, I went on this trip and I met this young footballer or this young, I don't know, rugby player, and he was so hot and amazing and this, that, and the other thing. And now she said, I've been acting in bed because these men aren't doing it for me. Now, are you going to, what is more likely? The hundreds of men that she's likely slept with in the several years between 20 and 40, which is more likely? A, every single one of them sucked. Or B, the more of them they had, the less important and less meaningful it was, and she burned out on it. If you said option B,
ding, 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 what do we have for her, Johnny?
You'd be right. She says, for years, I thought I was doing the right thing, stroking his ego. You weren't stroking his ego. Well, you could call it an ego, but I'm pretty sure you were stroking something else. Making sure he left the bedroom feeling like a sex god. Foregoing pleasure because I was too busy making sure he was having a great time. Do we believe this? Do we believe that she would have one-night stands and she made it all about the guy?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
None of us think so. We do not believe that, Yana. But what was happening to her is it wasn't as exciting as she thought it was going to be. Yes, maybe he didn't perform as well because it's not like she was in a loving relationship. That Yana and loving relationship is like water and fire. The two just don't go together. See, if she had had a loving relationship, if she had a man that actually loved her, and many of you guys that have been married, many of you guys that have had girlfriends or have girlfriends, what women don't understand about men is we do enjoy it when our women enjoy it. Why is it that when women want guys to finish quick, they sound like they're really enjoying it? Well, because that turns guys on. It does make a man feel accomplished. It does make a man feel happy. Hey, she's really into me. That's hot. That's kind of sexy. I'm glad she's enjoying it. But if you're in a long-term relationship, you can't fake it constantly because the woman will leave or she'll find somebody else or find something else, or you hear the click of the back massager turn on 3 minutes after you walk out of the bedroom. So what happens? Well, you have to have a conversation with your girlfriend, and she has to have or your wife or whatever, and she has to have a conversation with you, and you talk about what works and what doesn't work. Do you know when you're not doing that? When you're having a bunch of one-night stands like Yana does. You have those conversations when you're a good, healthy relationship, but Yana doesn't know what that's like. So what does she do? She finds out the physical part isn't really working, or the guy's just there to get his rocks off, because why would he care about her? Because as far as he's concerned, she's a 40-year-old blonde with decent boobs, and that's all he knows about her. And so what does she do? She kind of plays the part because she's burnt out. She says it right here, but then it hit me. I'd stopped enjoying sex, and it was all my fault. Now, she has all these stories that she writes a weekly column about, and she's a dating expert, and she wants to tell women about all the crazy hookups and all these awesome men and all this interesting stuff. Oh, my life is great, and this hot guy did this, and I met this hot guy here, and I went and did this with this hot guy. And here she admits it. I don't enjoy it anymore. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember when I stopped enjoying it. It's because she doesn't care about these guys, and they don't care about her. How many other women are going out and notching body count after body count after body count, and then they say, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. No men interest me anymore. I don't even the good-looking ones, I'm not interested anymore. It's burnout.
This is for the girlies that always have another guy. Like, where are you finding these men? Because on the dating apps, everyone's ugly. I'm sorry. Everybody is ugly. Nobody's coming my way. No one's talking to me. Oh, where are we meeting these men that are actually attractive? Because everywhere I look, it's ugly, ugly, ugly. There are so many attractive women, and there's so many unattractive men.
And they're telling you right to their face, I've burnt myself out on this. She says, case in point, I was with a guy who, bless his heart, was not that great. No rhythm, no finesse, just a lot of grunting and thrusting. And yet there I was making the, oh my God, you're blowing my mind noises, like he was the most extraordinary lover. By the time it was over, he looked so chuffed with himself. And why wouldn't he? I had practically handed him a standing ovation. And because I'm nothing if not committed to the bit, Later, when he texted to say how much fun it was to make me, well, happy, did I take the opportunity to gently correct him? No, I doubled down. Yes, you did it so well. She says, narrator, he did not do it well. So here, she self-admits that she's with a guy that wasn't doing it for her, and he wasn't really trying. He wasn't that great. And why wasn't he great? Raise your hand if you know this answer, class. Yana, he doesn't give a flying F what you feel or what you like or if you enjoyed it or how you felt about the interaction. Because you to him are a 40-year-old blonde woman named Yana in a low-cut dress. That's all you are. For him, you are an outlet to be used and enjoyed and then tossed aside. That's what you are. Other than that, he doesn't care because he doesn't care about you. And these women do not understand the men that would care about them, the men that want to make them happy, the men that want to thrill them, the men that want to make them happy in the bedroom are the men that would love them, are the men that want to stay with them and be with them and have them as a long-term partner. Except women don't want those men. She said, and if I'm being honest, this wasn't even an isolated incident. And there you go. Yana is saying, this is not isolated. It happens to me all the time or often. Yana has body count burnout. It's too much. She can't handle it. She's been with too many men, too often, and she doesn't have the feelings anymore. Even because what it is it's the rush and the excitement of a new dude. It's the excitement of, oh, he's hot. He's going to rock my world. And then she gets into the bedroom, and maybe the physical portion of it is enjoyable. That usually doesn't go away. But the butterflies and the excitement and that adrenaline and the, oh my gosh, this guy, I'm so into him. It's gone. It's just gone. Case in point, this chick. She gets the tingles. She gets the excitement for that one guy. And then she wants to chase him. And then she wants to own him. And then she wants to possess him. What happened if that guy was like, yeah, okay, we can be boyfriend and girlfriend? A couple weeks, maybe a month or two, and she's bored again. She says, I once had a guy stop mid-thrust to ask, why are you holding your boobs like that? A fair question considering I had unconsciously been arranging myself into the most flattering angles to make sure they looked perky, like some kind of human push-up bra instead of, actually enjoying the bedroom. I wasn't focused on what felt good. I was focused on looking like I was having a good time. She's so out of it. She's like, do I look cute? I am kind of saggy today. I am 40 after all. Let me lift and arrange things so I look good to him. Where's her head at? Where is she? She's disinterested. She's disengaged. She's disconnected. And why? Because it's meaningless to her. She said, well, somewhere along the way, we women were taught that good sex isn't about our pleasure. It's about making men think they're giving us pleasure. Hollywood taught us that if we look sexy, then the bedroom must be sexy. That if we sounded like we're having the best time of our lives, we'll magically start having the best time of our lives. There it is, gang. Did Yana take accountability for her frying herself out? Because earlier she said, hey, ladies, it's our fault. She said, and I told you there's a trick. I said, wait a minute. It sounds like she's taking accountability. She said, I'd stopped enjoying the bedroom. It was all my fault. And then what did she land on? Well, it was my fault because Hollywood told women, and it was the producers and the directors and those evil men in Hollywood that made these movies that told me that this was the way I was supposed to act. This is the wings of a butterfly slowly and somehow forming a tornado force wind. That's the extent in which she's grasping for straws. I didn't do this to myself. Women as a whole didn't do it to ourselves. It's those people in Hollywood. They told us from the movies we watched as young women how we were supposed to act. So I guess it's Hollywood's fault, everybody. She said, sure, we can blame spicy movies for this. It's fed men the belief that women should be writhing in pleasure within 3 seconds of doing it. Oh, so it's the men's fault, and it's the spicy movies' fault, but it's not my fault. And now she says, sadly, women have been conditioned to be pleasers to avoid awkward conversations. Oh, you've been conditioned. Feminist Yana. You've been conditioned. Feminist Yana. Or you can't take accountability for your own failures to communicate. You can't take accountability for your own failures in selecting men that just want to tap it, hit it, and quit it. You can't see that you've made the mistakes of choosing the wrong man, having these short-term flings, not communicating the problem you're having in the bedroom, and then blaming the man. This is 100% your fault. And all the women that are like you, it is 100% on you. You failed to pick a good guy. You failed to pick a man that would love you. You failed to pick a guy that would actually commit to you and have a loving relationship with you. You failed to communicate your needs to him, and you failed to take accountability for all of it. And this is how women think today. Well, it's not my fault. I'm just a stupid girl. Also, I'm a feminist, and we're strong and proud, and we're better than men. But I can't tell men what I want, because that would make an awkward conversation. You guys love awkward conversations when it's getting in our faces and telling us where we're at fault. You love awkward conversations when it comes to yelling at men why we're less great than you, strong, empowered females. You love those awkward conversations. But the only conversations you don't want to have is where you have to take accountability for your bullshit. It's 100% on you. 100% on you. But that would take accountability. And women don't have that. She said, but where's this gotten us? Frustrated, unsatisfied, and foregoing one of life's greatest pleasures, the O-faced. No wonder why so many of us are turning to those magical back massagers from time to time. It's the only thing getting us off. So what's the solution? It's saying toodaloo to our ingrained people-pleasing traits and refusing to fake it. If it's bad, let it be bad. If he asks, be honest, but obviously in a way that invites improvement, not humiliation. Wow, what a mature take. Maybe you should have started that at the tender age of 20, not 40. Maybe you would have not wasted 20 years and hundreds of body counts on men that didn't care about your satisfaction. This is 100% her fault, 100%. It also means focusing on how the bedroom feels, not just how it looks. A quick poll of my guy friends told me they don't care about good lighting or a jiggly thigh. They're just stoked that you're there with them having a good time.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Exactly right. Oh, my goodness. It's almost as if you had two brain cells to rub together, you could have asked a guy this maybe 20 years ago and had this conversation, and everything would have been better for you. But you didn't, and now you're going to blame it on everybody else. And here's the good news. Most men want to be great in bed, but they aren't mind readers. What? Wow. No kidding. We know this, but she's like, well, this is an epiphany, everybody. You'll never believe what breaking news I've discovered. We know this. We've always known this. Men have always been happy to try to please the women they're with. Except when you're with a guy that has a million other choices. He'll never care about you because the next thing to help him get his rocks off is one phone call away, and she is desperate to get a hold of them. She chases them. She becomes obsessed with them. So they don't need to try. They don't need to do anything. But you know who would care? You know who would jump through all the hoops? A man that loves you. But you don't want the men that would love you because they're just kind of on your level. They're not good enough. You know, I like Yana because Yana is the poster child for women's bad actions. And she takes what's rattling around in her brain and she puts it into an article for us to disseminate. And she's done it again. She admits she's fried out on the bedroom. She admits she doesn't know how to communicate with men. She admits she's with men that don't care enough about her to get to know what she needs. She admits it. The fallout to these women is here you have Yana, who's 40 years old. She's admitting she hasn't enjoyed the bedroom in a long time. She's admitting it's all about the chase and the tingles and that the guys don't care about her and they're just enjoying themselves. They finish and then go about their lives. And she just became a willing participant, a little bit better than lotion in the hand, and its name is Yana. That's basically what she's saying. She wasn't getting anything out of it. The guys enjoyed it, and she got another notch on her belt. And now she's 40, and just now she's discovering, gee, maybe I have this all backwards. And she is a dating coach. She is a life improvement coach for women. That's the part that I think blows my mind the most. She's been on national TV in Australia as a dating advice columnist. And her advice sucks because she's not happy. She's miserable. She's angry. She's fried out. And she's used.